For over 40 years, MTX has been hard at work engineering products for the car audio enthusiasts. And this year, well, it's kind of special because a whole lot of new product and energy has been put into the brand. And we're going to talk about some of these cool new products today. We've got their product expert, Jason Planck, joining us, and we're going to drill in on a couple cool new products coming to you from MTX. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about MTX car audio. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and on the menu today, we're talking MTX. Yes, the legendary brand from Arizona is at it again. I got to tell you, the energy coming to you from this brand this year has been quite electric. We started off with some cool new designs in power sports and marine, and today we get to kind of dive into the core of car audio. Jason, always a pleasure to have you on the show. What can we expect to talk about on today's Connected?
Well, Ben, we're going to talk about some cool new amplifiers we got coming out, some new designs, some new offerings, and of course, some classic subwoofer designs as well.
Jay, I love it when you're bringing new products to the table. Can't wait to dig in. But first, an opportunity for our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you dealers out there just why it's always an important add-on sale. And when we come back, we've got Jason Planck from MTX. Don't you dare go away.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
And welcome back to CMA Connected. We're talking, of course, with Jason Planck from MTX. Jay, I got to tell you, man, there is some really good energy. First of all, the new logo we talked about, that's going to be slick. But the recent introduction of these new amplifiers, I'm going to start right there because that's kind of the story of the day right here. Terminator Series has kind of been a go-to, if I'm not mistaken. And this new redesign really breathes some new life into the series. I want to talk to you and pick your brain a little bit about your mindset going into the revamp and the restyle of this iconic series.
Our mindset to redesigning Terminator amplifiers was simply, it was time. For the last few years, we've offered two different series of monoblock amplifiers with enclosures. Our dealers were asking for a little above entry-level solution, so you didn't have to jump all the way to the next line. Terminator is an iconic brand. It's one of the originals, so we decided to bring it back with offering of 6 amplifiers, 3 multi-channels, 3 monoblocks. I'll be happy to talk to you about it here, Ben. We're really excited to have them.
You know, I have to agree with you, Jay. I mean, the Terminator's, name, the moniker has been around for so long. I can't tell you how many people I know probably started with, Terminator amps, but it's great to see they've been refreshed. I'm curious to see a couple of the features that that you have integrated and made a part of this new line. So let's go to the product shot. Maybe you can walk us through some of these features that are now built into the new revamped Terminator line of amplifiers.
Well, one of the things we did with this line of amplifiers is because they are maybe people's first introduction into amplifiers, a lot of times there's not an understanding of setting gains and all of that sort of stuff. So they have some pretty serious built-in protection circuits, including internal fuses. So nice and clean, you don't see them on the outside. One thing we did add is a subsonic bass filter, which is really nice. So you can, on an entry-level amplifier, to have a subsonic filter and not allow your subwoofer to try to play 20 hertz, 30 hertz. That's a great feature. As you can see, the EBC is a standard phone jack. You can get any length you need. All the monoblocks come with the bass knob. This bass knob is carried out through the entire line. So it's not like one amp takes a different one than the other. As Grant's showing you, you can take it out of the case and flush mount it in your dashboard for a real sleek design. Really strong stainless steel terminals on there for biting down on the wire. And of course, a small footprint. A lot of these style of amplifiers are going under seats, behind panels. We could not have them large. We had to have, there you go, compared to a phone, we had to have a small footprint. But in doing that, each of these amps offers about 20% overrated power. So if you can believe that, we crammed it into a small aluminum heatsink, gained power, and kept it efficient because they're all Class D technology. There you go. What amp am I looking at here? 800.5, 1,398 watts. Look at that, rated at 300, a channel out the back end at 4 ohm, doing 453. So you can see these things are healthy. These are strong little amplifiers, and they sound great doing it.
So the first few comments I'm going to have, my initial reaction is those look really modern, really slick. I love the fact that you thought about space. You know, space is at a premium these days. These are compact amplifiers that can easily find their way into any environment, regardless of the application. So that's great. I love the fact that you're including the bass knob. I think there's a lot of value there. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Very few amplifiers at this price point will actually include a report card like that to demonstrate the kind of output that it has. So you know what? Good on MTX to be able to back up their statements and their claims on their specifications when it comes to the power output of their amplifiers. Now, I have you, Jay, so I'm going to dig a little bit deeper yet. Any chance we could actually see the inside of these amplifiers and what you've really built into them to be able to do what they do or what you claim they do?
Yeah, we're happy to show it to you. We're proud of what we put in here. You can see we've got our own branded circuit board, oversized coils and caps, lots of thermal mass on the aluminum heatsink, quality controls, all surface mounted, and over here, wrong finger. You can see the fusing, and it's easy to access. It's 4 screws to get this back plate off, so nice and easy to use.
Jay, those amps look absolutely packed with quality components. I'm very happy we had an opportunity to get a little glimpse behind the veil, if you will, to see what those things are made of. Okay, you saw his pretty hands before. I guess it's time to bring him on. Of course, we're talking about Grant McFadder, who's the sales manager for Trends Electronics, happen to be the Canadian distributor for MTX in Canada. Now, Grant, this is going to be a hot ticket in my mind. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the new MTX Terminator amps.
Ben, when we first showed these off at the CMA show in April earlier this year, there was a lot of attention, obviously, on the size of the amplifiers, the variety with the 6 different models. The implementation and addition of the 5-channel amplifier was really cool, including the bass knobs in the box. You can do high-level input, low-level input on these amplifiers, but the physical size of these is incredible, not to mention the burst certificate they give you. On every single amplifier, it shows you what the amplifier is doing. The little 500-watt monoblock is actually putting out 712 watts RMS. So you not only is it a great value when you buy the amplifier, you're getting about 25 to 50% more power than you actually paid for. So we're really just getting going with these. So far, the dealers that have brought them in are loving the product, rave about the amount of power they're getting, and we're just looking forward to getting this thing really rolling in the next month or so.
All right, so that was the new, revamped, totally redesigned Terminator Series amplifiers. Very, very cool, guys. Definitely get your hands on that one. Okay, we promised to give you some conversation about bass, because obviously what is fun with car audio without bass? Let's start with something that honestly is an everyday seller. Customers are always coming in. They want more sound. They want more volume. Well, most of the time, they're talking about wanting more bass. So, Jay, when it comes to bass packages, I know MTX has a couple bundles that could be of interest, especially at a price point that is very attractive.
Bass packages, it's where everybody starts. We offer 4 different ones. Obviously a sealed and a ported, as well as standalone enclosures, as well as ones with amplifiers. They are a hot ticket. They are often used to get people in an entry-level form. They just want to add some bass. They make great Christmas presents, which is silly because everything you need comes in one box. You can literally walk out the door with it. 250 watt on the sealed and 500 watt on the ported. You get about 3 dB more on the ported enclosure. They all come with a 2-year warranty. They're a great starter system. They're very easy to integrate into almost any vehicles that take high level in. And we are just now starting to ship them with a new TN amplifier. So that's really exciting. Again, the other amps were fine. We're just going to a smaller footprint because the cars are getting smaller. The new amps are more efficient. So it's a better package all the way around.
I think the base package is certainly one of the more underrated products from MTX. At least I got started in this industry because I heard bass in the car for the first time. I don't know about everyone else, but that's what really got me going into the car audio industry. Is sat in the car and never heard bass like that in a small area, never mind on the dance floor or anything like that at a nightclub. But that's really what got me going. So we don't just give you a little bit of bass; they're giving you a ton of bass because each package, all four of them, have dual 12-inch woofers in them. So whether you want a little bit more accurate sounding seal box, or you want to have that heavy hitting baseball bat in the back of your head bass with the ported enclosure, they give you lots of options for it. So I think they're really underrated for what you get. And like I said, they're not giving you a little bit of bass. It's whack, whack, whack in the back of the head right out of the box.
All right, there you have it. Some cool packages built, ready to go. Just put them in the trunk, power them up, and like Grant said, whack, whack, whack to the back of your head. All right. So we're talking about solutions, and when it comes to solutions, and to Jason Planck's point, cars are getting smaller, spaces at a premium. But don't worry, MTX has come to the table with a solution with slim subwoofers. Now, I've always been a little bit skeptical when it comes to slim woofers, Jay, because I look at the physicality, I look at how they're built, and I'm like, how can these subwoofers possibly put out the output I'm looking for? Well, I'm going to pass that torch over to you to help me understand.
The 35 slim woofer. Yeah, people question how they work. Think of it as a solution. It does work. There's a reason for them. I'll give you an example. That 35 slim has an inverted apex surround and a spider plateau venting. We understand that. But there's a installer reason the inverted apex surround works so well on that woofer. So a lot of times that woofer is shoved behind a seat of, say, a pickup truck. That helps minimize the surround hitting the seat because it does not stick out like a standard subwoofer. I know that sounds silly, but I've shoved these things in some small places. For example, I have 210s in my truck behind the seat that I haul all around this country. On the back end of the 5-channel Terminator amp, to be a fact. It's only 3.3 inches deep. And here's a side note. We're so confident in those 12s or those slims, we use the 12s in our X3 Power Sports kit. It's the exact same woofer, and we're putting them out in the toughest environment there is. Great woofers when needed. Not saying that if you have the space, you shouldn't just buy the standard subwoofer, because that'll obviously work a little better in your favor. These slims can go in real small enclosures. The 10 is 0.7, the 12 is 0.8. I mean, you can't ask for much more. They are a great answer to a vehicle with limited space and no bass in the audio system. So if you just want to add some simple bass, don't have a lot of room, here is this really small, high output subwoofer. Really, really nice and small enclosures.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that point that Jay was talking about with the Apex inverted surround on there. A lot of traditional subwoofers, you've got that big rolled surround on here. So you're losing about an extra half an inch or so just in the surround. So like Jay was talking about, when you've got this behind your seat and you've got the rolled surround coming out another half an inch, you're really eliminating that extra half an inch you could be for a larger magnet structure or some more airspace inside the enclosure. So these are phenomenal. These do not sound like shallow subwoofers. The first time I saw these, it's a pretty unassuming woofer. It's a stamped steel basket. It's a traditional iron ferrite magnet. But the cooling on these and the amount of power they take for the price point they are, you get tremendous value with these with a lot of output. So that Can-Am kit that Jay was talking about with the dual 12s, we get to guys saying we got to turn the bass down on it because there's way too much output. So that speaks volumes for the performance of the subwoofers themselves, but really for the price these are, the performance you get, in Canada, at least east of the Rockies, it's all truck country. So we sell a ton of these because everyone's riding Dodge Ram, Chevy pickups, all that kind of stuff. So awesome subs for the money.
All right, so far in this conversation, we've spent a lot of time talking about solution-based products when size, space is all important. You know, we talked about the smaller footprint Terminator series amplifiers. We talked about bass packages. We talked about even a slim subwoofer. Well, let's flip the switch a little bit and let's go to the other end of the spectrum and talk about high output. Because listen, MTX has been known to put out some serious bass. We're going to jump all the way up to the 75 series, which presently is the flagship, if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to putting out high output bass. So I'd like to hear in your words, Jason, a little bit about the design, the motor structure, and all that goodness when it comes to the output that these 75 series subwoofers can put out.
The 75 series subwoofers. These are the ones that wake you up in the middle of the night when the neighbor kids are banging down the street. High quality, inverted apex surround, glass fiber cone, spider plateau venting, nice big 8-gauge terminals, available in a 12 and 15, way too heavy to hold. Currently, this is our big bang. Currently. I'd like everybody to keep their eyes open towards the end of the year. We've got something coming for you guys that want to wake up all your neighbors. But for right now, this is a great price point, competitive subwoofer. It'll take everything you give it. It's nice. It fits in small enclosures. It fits a nice I think it's a 2 cubic foot ported for a 12, 175 sealed. So it's not a huge box. It's not going to take up a ton of trunk room. Matter of fact, funny story is we've got a guy building a truck right now with 12 12s in it that's going to SEMA, 12 of these things, or I'm sorry, 12 15s. So that thing's going to be a lot of fun. But it's a great sub for the money. We move quite a bit of them. I bang for buck. That's MTX, man. It is what it is.
I just want Jay to hold it up for another 15 minutes or so. He's got to work on the guns. But yeah, that thing's a beast. It is our current high-end offering. Like Jay said, there's more stuff coming down the road that we had a sneak peek of it at the CMA Expo, and more stuff beyond that too, apparently. So as far as this goes right now, I mean, bang for the dollar. It's not a cheap subwoofer by any means, but compared to competitive product out there, I think that's the case with most MTX products. You're getting more bang for the buck, more quality, more power handling. That 75 series is an animal. So we can't wait to look forward to the new stuff that's coming down the road. That's a 75 series staple, man. That thing is absolutely a go-to when a guy he's got that abusive customer that wants heavy bass. That's a guy to go to. Don't go to anything else. Go straight to the 75 series.
You know, the cosmetics on that 75 series, the basket, everything about it screams a lot of muscle, and that's great to see. And I think that's going to be a great option. And like Grant said, the price point is going to be very competitive when you're looking at these higher power output subwoofers. But I did not miss what you said there, Mr. Planck, so I will circle back. You know, the design cues with the redesign of the new MTX logo, and now the Terminator series and some of your, the can speakers, and now you're mentioning maybe something new coming for those, bass heads coming down the pipe. I guess my final question to you, Jason, is what can we expect to see from MTX? Where's this headed? And can you give us some insight as to the future of MTX?
Future of MTX is strong. You're really looking at the tip of the iceberg. By the time we get to January, February, it's going to be a little overwhelming. We're a little nervous because there's so many new products and SKUs coming that we're so excited about. The timing is tough because everything's coming at the same time, but we're super excited. We're willing to take that chance. And I think the reception of it will be great. The TN itself, we're already placing our second and third order because it's selling so strong. And in a few weeks to a month, we'll be showing you the next stuff. And it's just going to continue down the line until the beginning of next year, especially with car audio.
Exciting times ahead with MTX. We've been a distributor for them, for the last 6 years. And we've been hearing there's new stuff coming. Well, like Jay said, it's all going to come pretty much at once rather than, a nice slow progression of products coming out. It's going to be like, phoomp, here it is. Check out MTX. The Terminator amplifiers are, an exciting piece that came out. A lot of new SKUs to add into the mix to really expand the offering, with new amplifiers coming out after this as well, possibly more than one series, a bunch of new woofers. Obviously, if you go onto the mtx.com website, you'll see the old logo flickering and flashing and then converting into the new logo. You can imagine all the products that have the old logo on it currently are going to have a brand new logo. So I know it's going to be quite the challenge keeping up with it all, but we're here for the task. And MTX, it's a company that isn't relying on a bunch of shareholders to dictate what they do. It's a a family-owned business. They don't have to answer to shareholders on, we need profits king, profits king, profits king. You're going to see a lot of new stuff coming out that's really going to put MTX back on the map. And we look forward to the future ahead.
That was both Jason Planck from MTX as well as Grant McFadder representing Trends Electronics, welcoming them to the show today and giving us some insight on not only some new products, some classics as well, but most exciting, what is coming in the future for MTX. If you want more information on any of the products that we discussed on today's show, I do encourage you to head on over to the official website that we'll put on the screen right now. And if you happen to be a dealer in Canada tuning in, make sure to hit up Trends Electronics, as they are the official distribution partner for all things MTX north of the border. My takeaway, you know what? It is refreshing to see a legacy brand like MTX putting in the energy, the effort, and the investment into car audio. It's where it all began. And I am a firm believer that now more than ever is the right time to infuse this industry and this market with more technology, more innovation. And I certainly think that if the Terminator amps are just, a glimpse into what's coming down the pipe, I can't wait to report to you all when the new products hit the shelf. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.